That's a nice one there. Could be post spawn, I'm not sure. Got a little bit on the tail there, a little bit of action, but belly's not huge. Could be recovering. Otherwise, she looks great. Nice fish, man. How you guys doing? Welcome back to SMD Fishing, and welcome to SMD Fishing if you're here for the first time. Thank you guys for joining in. I do appreciate it. If you like bass fishing, I'll do a little bit of snakehead fishing. If you like fishing, period, man, consider subscribing to the channel. I do a lot of tips and tactics. Try to go to a bunch of different places, man. You know, expand my horizon on where I fish, type of fish I catch. If you guys like that kind of content, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I try to post every single week and give you guys, like I said, much as adventure and little knowledge in there as well. Along this journey. So we're gonna hop right to it, man. Easy way to find pre-spawn / spawning bass. I'm out here today on the lake. Been running around, just graphing around, you know, seeing different things here and there, trying to, you know, cover new water. And I want to give it the easiest breakdown I can to find like I said, find pre-spawn and spawning bass this time of year. I'm gonna go through pond guys, lake guys, and then river guys. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real brief, real simple. Like I said, I'll try to keep it simple for you guys at all times. So try to make this easy. Because I know you guys hate it and I hate it too. And you go out there and you scratch your head left and right trying to find them. It can be difficult at times, don't get me wrong. Sorry I had to change sides of the boat here just to give you guys a little better lighting. I want to make sure you get good quality so you guys can enjoy the content. So like I said, I want to talk about pond guys, lake guys, and river guys. So for all three places, pond, river, lakes, you can use the baits that I talked about in my go-to pre-spawn lures, link right up here. In that video, like I said, I gave you a whole breakdown of my top baits that I normally come out with, already rigged up, ready to go. You guys can see that over there. Sorry, they're on my rods. Baits that I have confidence in and that have, you know, consistently over years caught me fish during this time of year. Pond guys, I feel like it's a little easier for you guys to find fish. But just in case you're not experienced at it, of course. And the reason being, because those fish are literally like in a bowl, okay? They're going to be somewhere in this bowl, okay? It's a little harder for a river guy. I got to do a lot of searching. Same thing with lake guy. Finding the right places to go, period. For the pond guys, you got to understand these fish were in their winter haunts, which is normally deeper water, and they're looking to spawn up in a shallower area. And that could be let's say the pond has a deep section in the middle and around the entire edge is shallow. All that's game to go, honestly, because those fish are literally looking for areas that can be semi-shallow, not shallow enough to be in danger of getting eaten, things like that, but shallow enough to where their eggs, once they're starting to spawn, those eggs get good sunlight. So same thing if your pond had a bunch of deep water on one side and all the way up north side of the pond it goes shallow. Those fish are literally just going to push up to that direction or somewhere along that route up to shallower water. And when I say shallow water, it could be 2 foot, 3 foot, things like that. Those bass do not have a problem with spawning in 2 foot of water. And I would definitely target these fish, like I said, with the baits that I use in the video up above here. Whether it be a chatterbait coming up down the bank, and bluegill patterns are great this time of year as well. So whether it be a little chatterbait, green pumpkin chatterbait, or a small Texas rig, green pumpkin or red flake or something like that. A little minute scrub from Strike King. Some people like throwing tubes, but a little smaller profiles around the shallow areas, man, you're gonna get bit, guaranteed. And also understand this one thing, guys. These bass move in phases, okay? Not like I understand that, you know, some guys may go off a moon phase, and at certain times of year you got X amount of full moons, and these bass move according to the moon phase. Honestly, I'm a firm believer that the bass are looking for the best scenario to spawn. Whether that be nice warm weather consistently, because here in Maryland we've had a lot of ups and downs this spring so far. You'll go from like an 80-degree week, it'll hit a cold front, and it's back to 40s at night again. So one of my buddies, Ryan, I pointed because I literally just seen him like 2 seconds ago, but it's from Nova Outdoors. I'll leave his YouTube channel down below. But he was just saying literally last week the water temp got into like mid to high 60s, and then we're out here today almost, maybe a week later, and I'm looking at 57, 58 degree water temps. So again, about the phases that bass move up. You won't get the entire population of bass to move at once. It'll be a portion, I don't know, 30, 40% will go at one time. Then the next 30, 40%. It'll be a series. It could take a month. It could take 2 months. It depends on the situation, of course. Especially if you're down south. Some guys get that kind of weather where it's, late February or something like that, early March, it might get a little warm here. You'll get a certain amount of portion of bass that'll move up and spawn. Same thing will happen the next month. A certain amount of bass will move up and spawn. So understand that all the bass aren't going at once. You don't have to like rush, oh, I only got 2 weeks to fish. Not like that. So for guys who are in lakes and rivers, so one of the first things I like to do once I get out on my boat is to find food, okay? And well, I wish I could find some food right now. I'm pretty hungry. Five Guys sounds pretty good. Find bait fish. Find food for the bass. So I would literally idle through creeks. I just take my time, idling through, look at my electronics, finding food. I don't want to see 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Okay, I'm sorry. I have a 2-year-old son and we're reading a book now, okay? I don't want to see, a single here, a single there, and a little pod of bait out of that entire creek. That's not a good creek to me. Especially going there, you don't see anything. And I'm literally talking about, driving straight down the middle of a creek. You don't see anything, get out of there. Do not force it. They'll be like, oh man, they gotta be here. They were here, last week. Bass move, fish move. Understand that. Accept it and move on. Actually, an example I probably just showed you. I literally went like one creek next to it, idled down it, and found a bunch of bait, a bunch of fish. That's a good creek to me. It has food in it. As you look around, got good cover in it, got good laydowns, things like that. Oh yeah, okay, now it's time to fish. So that's a big thing when it comes out to lakes and rivers. You got to have food nearby. Yes, don't get me wrong, check your spots, but at the same time, my first thing, I'll go to a location, idle down it, use my electronics, try to see what I can see on the graph, find food, and of course cover nearby. That's like the perfect combo for finding them. And of course, in these pockets that I'm targeting, whether it be in the backs of them or maybe in the first few points of that pocket, has some shallow areas where they can spawn. Because not all fish will go directly to the back of the pocket, especially you guys with like lakes with like long creek arms. Those creek arms can go back pretty far. So you might not see fish in that first section as you keep idling. Oh, here they are, around these docks, or not necessarily around the docks, but here they are in this section of the creek. And once you look to your sides, you got docks or laydowns, things like that. Perfect. This is the area that they can be in. They got food right here. I see fish on my graph, and they have area where they can spawn at. I'll definitely fish something like that. And one key thing for my lake guys, understand, or do a little research before you get out there. Understand if your lake has been drawn down or is the water rising. 'Cause I was literally in North Carolina a couple weeks back. Lake was down a bit, so all the cover was exposed. I think it was literally maybe 3 feet down, so like 2 or 3 feet down, something like that. So all the cover was exposed. We weren't catching anything up shallow. You had to focus deeper in like that 6 to 8 foot range. Once we, like I said again, finding a pocket, finding food, finding fish in that pocket. Once we started fishing, I was catching them a little deeper. And you got to understand, it's unfortunate, don't get me wrong, that you would love to beat the bank or catch fish how you want to, but these fish are going to adapt to what their surroundings as well. You got a lake that they drew it down and has been down for the last couple weeks. You got to understand these pre-spawn fish are going to be a little deeper than what you expected. Same thing if the water level has been drawn up or they haven't let water out, and you got flooded bushes, flooded trees. These fish are going to be up there looking for new food, looking for areas to spawn. I think that's an ideal situation, honestly, if you got a little higher water than normal. Understand if your water clarity is 2 to 3 feet visibility, these fish have no problem with spawning a little deeper. They can sit in 3-4 foot of water. As long as they get in the proper sunlight, those fish are going to spawn where they would like to. Now, if you got stained water, I fish the Potomac River sometimes, and in the backs of our pockets, they stay a little stained up. So it'd be a little easier to catch these fish literally a couple feet off the bank because they need the sunlight for their eggs. And real quick, this is what I'm talking about the Potomac. Potomac is a river system, just in case anyone didn't know. You do want to avoid the current, okay? So backs and coves, backs and creeks, probably a little better off as far as finding pre-spawn bass. I would not be looking at main lake areas or main river channel areas. You can follow these river channels. Let's say a river channel swings up against one bank and it has a nice creek coming off that bank. That's one of the major places I would definitely go check first as far as finding pre-spawn bass. And again, use my electronics idling through there. But you understand that once that creek channel swings up against that bank and the creek that's beyond it, that tide is not going to be as powerful back there or as fluctuate and affect that area as much. Yes, the water level will rise and drop, but I feel that spot right there, fish are going to be in there, period. So that's the best point I can give you for tidal systems. Get out of it. Get out of the current. Get out of that major current, man. Find yourself a nice little pocket. These bass are gonna be getting shallow to get busy. I wasn't talking about what you think I was talking about, okay? I'm talking about feeding. I don't get your head out the gutter, okay? I definitely set myself up for that one. Sorry about that. But that's it, man. I think it's the easiest way I can put it as far as finding pre-spawn bass, pre-spawn to spawning bass. These fish are on a mission this time of year. I hope you guys can capitalize on this, on the few tips that I put in this video. Check out the video. I'll link it down below, my go-to baits for pre-spawn time. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time out on the water. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and some fishing adventures. I'll see you guys next time. Give it a thumbs up. I appreciate your support. You guys take care.